thought I would do a little bit of a video for this, my Sony deck. I had a bit of trouble with it, I guess last winter, and decided to tackle it. The left channel was noisy and distorted for about 5 minutes, and then it would settle down, and it seemed to be okay. I was pretty sure it was an electrolytic capacitor, and that's sort of what I was hunting for when I was repairing it. So a little bit later on, I'll show you what I actually found that was wrong with it, and I just thought for anybody that has one of these decks and maybe encountered the same problem, it's maybe a hint for you.
I have crossed between the poles. For me there's no mystery. Once a man like the sea I raged. Once a woman like the earth I gave. But there isn't that nor earth nor sea.
So this is the schematic of the TC-399, and the problem that I was having was noise and distortion on, I think it was the left channel when I first turned the unit on, and it went away after about 5 minutes. So troubleshooting it was a little bit tricky, and I don't trust electrolytic capacitors at all. So my first thought was I found the noise was coming after the record playback board, and so I pulled this capacitor, this one here, checking them all for leakage, and lo and behold, they were okay. So when I started to check a little bit further, I found the bias voltage here was way off, and so that's a BC 458, and I replaced that, and lo and behold, the situation was a lot better. And then I replaced this guy here. The 2SC1345 is just a marginally lower noise than the BC 458. They're almost identical. So I had another 458 that I put in there, and lo and behold, this voltage became normal, and the bias on this was normal, and the noise was gone. So in the end, I changed I did both channels. I replaced the transistors in both channels. And then reading afterwards a little bit up on this, I found that if you have a BC 458 transistor in a piece of equipment that's from the 70s, like this is, throw it away and replace it. And so what I did is, we'll just move over here. This is the specs for the 458, and it's NPN transistor, and this is the 1345. But what most people were doing is replacing either of those with this 1815, which appears to be a pretty good part. Now, I haven't taken the unit apart again to do that, but I ordered 100 of them because I'm going to go through and replace, I think, all of them with that transistor. So yeah, if you have a noise that comes and goes, or mostly at the beginning on your TC-399, then I'd look there. Now, trust me, recording this through the camera microphones doesn't do it justice, but it's it really is sounding as good as it was, I think, when it was new. So a little bit about tapes. You'll see what I've got on here is actually an MPEX 671, and those were tapes that I bought in bulk. I believe they were already used tapes from like a radio station, and they've really stood the testament of time. Anything that I've recorded on these, it's just like the day I recorded it. And I've played these tapes over and over and over again, and they're still, although the bandwidth is probably maybe only good to 15 kilohertz, they've really lasted well. Now, I've also got some TDK stuff. These are GX35s, and I had a few of these, and they're really terrible. They were good in the beginning, but over time, they've really the oxide is flaking off, and really playing one of these on the deck, I give it like 5 minutes, and the heads are going to be bunged up. And what I actually do, I put a piece of white paper under the deck as I'm playing it, and to see if there's any residue that's dropping off the tape. And after about 5 minutes with one of those tapes, I don't know if you guys can see this, there's about that much residue. Oxide and little shards of tape that come off. So, and I thought, okay, well maybe they've been exposed to humidity or the environment. I had one brand new tape sealed in the package. I opened it today and played it, and it really wasn't much better. The frequency response was good to maybe 5 kilohertz, and that was about it. Another tape which is a little bit better is the Maxell UD. It has quite a few dropouts, but it's not shedding like the TDK tape. So. And this is just my experience with the tape. So if anybody wants to leave a comment in the comment section about good new tapes that are out there, that'd be great. I'd like to have a couple of new tapes to play with. So that's about it for this deck. Good little deck, and I think it'll carry on for quite some time.